Yo everybody, Panda here to bring you Magi chapter 180, and it was a pretty long chapter actually we got this week. Surprised that we got around about 17 pages. Magi normally only does about 14, so I'm happy that if we keep this up, it was a very information packed chapter, not to mention action as well at the end. Scheherazade actually told Aladdin about Titus, that he's only got a few days to live and he's just accepting the truth. And, Aladdin was like, yeah, I understand, but if I decide to use my staff in order to heal you, I'll wait for you when that time comes. And I see, the Black Rook appeared, the demons that, freaking the Chancellor left, and actually Aladdin knew of this, so he knew about the secret. And everyone was wondering, why if we had this strength before, why didn't we use it? And what they had to do is that they forced all the criminals, war prisoners and the 5th level authorization people, and they basically drained all their magoi from the start, and basically got them to fall into depravity, which made them, create Black Rook, and they decided to absorb it, and it was a really fucked up method that, in the same time they were draining magic, but as well they also had a backup plan from the start. But in order to manipulate these Djinn, he needs to use the same spell that makes himself fall into depravity, and obviously he's done that already, as we've seen it. But basically he's gonna never be able to go to the plane, which the anime completely fucked up, about once you fall into depravity you cannot go back. Unless you're healed by a Magi, which technically that guy wasn't, but that's the anime. Fuck the anime. And the freaking magicians were like, "Yo, go Black Djinns, go and destroy enemies for us." And I like that Alibaba was like, I can't let a thing like Kaji Magenti freaking grow balls, and he said, "I can't forgive them." And they actually moved away, and they went to Koha, and we saw what the prince is, Ren. We hadn't seen him for a while, and it's pretty messed up. But most of his alliance is actually artificial people, all messed up Magoi creations. And he just showed out. He actually shows that he has got the Djinn, and that it showed his past 3 years ago. I think it was called Le Rajay or something. It was called. And oh yes, she looked pretty fine indeed. And I hopefully got enough to I had to edit that fuck that picture of Leray. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you had to read the manga to find out what she truly looks like. But hopefully, I did it good enough. And it's saying she actually was going to choose his brother, but what happens is he's already got 3 Djinns already. So yeah, that was pretty weird. And he's saying he still chose him in the end of the day because of what he did, after all these failed experiments which create artificial magicians and stuff, and he still accepted them in the end of the day. And he said, they still have a future. He's like, raise your heads up. And he said, and even Le Rajay said, he may not end up being the king of this world. Almost he lives bathed in the sun, and he probably won't be chosen as a man like the Koa as king, but he is a king for them. And I sort of like that. And he's like, okay, we're almost at Megstar. And he's he charges in, and the Black Djinns just appear. They just open their palms like that, and they just fuck up the entire area. And I was like, that was a great way to end the chapter. I'm very, 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 very excited for the next chapter of Magi, after the anime ended. And this just shows how much better the manga is. And luckily, Volume 1 is coming out soon, so I'd advise everyone to pick that up. I know, I'm going to be picking up day 1, but that's all from me, everybody, so thank you very much for watching. As always, remember, strut low, Panda, Zana, and I'll see you next time, people.